All right. All right. All right. We're here. And low. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Would you look at that? I have to fix my camera. Would you look at that? I don't even have to change the graphic from game 5. Don't even have to change the graphic. Um, First off, congratulations to the New Jersey Devils on winning the series. Um, as much as that just killed me to say, congratulations to the Devils. Um, I'm just beyond disgusted by the effort of this team. Beyond disgusted. All eyes on you tonight. All eyes. The only game in the National Hockey League on tonight was this game. All eyes on you. And you lay a fucking egg. Lay an egg. Not a single crisp pass, not a single forecheck attempt, not a single quality shot on goal. Nothing. Didn't capitalize on the power play. And even when New Jersey, it looked like they played better in the first period, the Devils, but when it looked like for a minute, they handed it on a silver platter saying, here, score a goal. We don't want to score first. Score a goal. Go ahead. By taking a mountain of penalties, you negate the first one, and then you do what with the rest of the power plays? You do what? Oh, my bad. Mika Zibanejad had a shot on goal, gloved, and then he had another one hit the shoulder. My bad. Those were your best 2 chances tonight. Your best 2. You choked a 2-0 series lead yet again. Rip the no quit in New York bullshit down the smithereens. Burn it all. Burn it. Because all they do is fucking quit. Losers. And I thought I was going to come on here talking about how much of a loser Jack Hughes is for his pregame comments, basically making excuses pregame for if they lose. He's saying, oh, we're playing with house money. We don't have pressure. Well, they used it to their advantage, the fact that they didn't have pressure. After game 6, you should have had all the momentum going into this game. You chase Shakira, hips don't lie. Yeah, they don't lie anymore. Out of the net in game 6. And you don't test him at all. At all. This falls on the coaching and the players themselves. The only player, the only one that showed any heart throughout the entire series was Igor Shesterkin. The only one. Can't name a single other player. You have people burning the Patrick Kane trade. Everyone ripping apart Patrick Kane on Twitter. To tell you the truth, he was one of the few players that I didn't think was... I mean, they all suck tonight. Don't get me wrong. Don't take this as I'm saying Patrick Kane was good. But he was one of the least bad tonight. At the very least. And everyone's just ripping it apart saying, oh, that trade was so bad. Why would they do that? It costed a 2nd and a 4th round pick. And yeah, he gets all the focused hate. He does. And undeservedly so. Because why are we ripping Patrick Kane? I saw people ripping Patrick Kane after the first goal where Adam Fox thinks he's Booker T doing a spin-a-rooney with the puck, trying to go behind the net, coughs it up to Andre Palat. Palat dishes it across, and they score. Somehow it's Patrick Kane's fault, though, right? Somehow it's Kane's fault. because we can't blame anyone else. Anyone else? No. Don't blame anyone else. Don't blame anyone else. Blame Kane. Blame Kane only. He's the only one that deserves blame. Artemi Panarin, even though everyone in chat, myself, everyone on planet Earth was tied, well, outside of some players, but the majority of people on planet Earth were tied with Artemi Panarin in goals this series. Nope. Blame everyone else, though. Blame Kane, though. Blame Kane. Adam Fox had his worst game as a New York Ranger tonight. His worst. Nobody played good except Igor. Nobody. I cannot believe how much I thought this team was different. I seriously can't, and it's laughable how much I thought this team was different from last year. You go up 2-0 in the conference finals last year, and you learn nothing? You learn nothing. When will you learn then? When? Tell me when. Truba said on the postgame they fought till the end. I want to see some of these post-game comments because it is laughable the fact that you had Gallant, even after game 5, saying they gave good enough of an effort. Good enough of an effort? Right. What a joke. What a joke. Let's see. Could I find any other post-game comments? Curious to see what Big Genius Gallant has to say about this one. Don't see anything though. Joke of a leadership group. Joke of a leadership group. The fact that you learn nothing. And the fact that you allow yourself to get dicked down like you're Lana Rhodes on a porn set is fucking ridiculous. Like, how do you lay that much of an egg in this game? How? I thought they were at least going to show somewhat of an effort, but no. Wasted season is right. Wasted season is right. Yeah, Palat was due to make some noise tonight, wasn't he? Sorry, just messaging Sea Jets right now. Because he's probably going to come on. I don't even know what to say. I really don't. I really don't even know what to say. I'm genuinely speechless. I genuinely am. We're lucky that the Boston Bruins choked. Because otherwise, this would have been the most embarrassing first round exit. Would have been. Would have been. Heads have to roll, though. Heads have to roll. You fluke your way to a conference final last year. You get spanked by Carolina in the bubble series. You get absolutely cooked here by New Jersey. Even though you were arguably the better team on paper, which again, I said it. On paper's not everything. I get it. And the Devils execute better. It's that simple. But at the same time, if you'd be lying if you said that the Rangers didn't shoot themselves in the foot as well. But heads have to roll because you choked a 2-0 lead in back-to-back series now. I don't know. I don't know where you go from here. You have way too many contracts with no movement clauses. You're not going to be able to move any of them. I don't even know what you do. I don't. And yeah, the Devils did deserve the win. They did. They did. They played like they actually wanted it. How many times did I say at the deadline that Gallant was given a Lamborghini and it was his to crash, and he drove that thing straight into a fucking wall? But at the same time, I'm not giving the players a pass on this one either. I'm not. I'm simply not. Yeah, maybe on toilet paper, you're right. And then it's all looking good. It's all looking good. You got Carolina, who's still good. They're just banged up, but they're still good. You have New Jersey, who's only getting better. God only knows what's happening in Pittsburgh. Like, you may just benefit next year off of a shit division making the playoffs yet again. But I'll tell you right now, if there's not at least one drastic change this offseason, then what's the point? And yes, Panarin should be getting more blame than Patrick Kane. Yeah. But some of these people on Twitter, for whatever reason, love to point the finger at Patrick Kane. Love to. I don't know what it is, but they love to point the finger at Patrick Kane. The fact that Jacob Trouba throws that monster hit on Timo Meier that turns nothing around. This is fucking bad. This is bad. The second that first goal went in, I just knew. I just knew. Because I had a feeling that it was going to take either a gigantic miracle at that point, and then before the goal, I thought it was going to take a shutout to win this game. It's not like it was Igor's fault, but... And I do not blame Igor one bit if he ends up walking when he becomes a free agent. I don't. I don't blame him one bit. Because he's probably seeing... Hopefully he sees what... Well, I shouldn't say hopefully because I want him to stay, but... He's probably seeing what happened with Lundqvist. Thinking, man, This is me right now, too. Oh, Mika Zibanejad. I don't think we played as well as in game 6. I thought they played a better game and we just didn't match them. No fucking shit. No shit. Anyone with a fucking set of eyes could see that. How many years are left on Igor's deal? Good question. Let's see when Igor Shesterkin walks to and then wins a cup elsewhere. Let's see. Starting next year, he has next year and the year after, and then he's a free agent. So pretty much got 2 years to try and make this thing better to help Igor kick around. Unless you're gonna throw him a stupid amount of money to the point where he can't say no. So that's where we're at. Throwing the headphones on because we have Sea Jets joining in.
Hear me good?
Yep, we can hear you. We were just talking about how we have 2 years to write this thing before Igor walks. So
Ain't that the fucking truth?
Fun times.
Dude, I'm just past the point of even being mad. I'm more upset at myself for like emotionally attaching myself to this team for how long was the season? 8 months, 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
And this is just how they repay us for just like being fans. Like, I just said this to Joey on the phone. Like someone like even like yourself who buys tickets, goes to the games, buys the merch, does this, that, and the other thing, and this is just how they turn around and repay you. They play a game 7 against one of their biggest rivals of all time, and they showed nothing. They showed nothing. Most everyone showed nothing. There was a few players that stood out, but they didn't just so fucking disappointing.
Outside of the obvious being Igor Shesterkin, who would you say showed up tonight?
I actually didn't think Trouba had an awful game. I mean, obviously the hit on Timo Meyer is his highlight, but otherwise, I don't think he was awful.
Agreed. I thought Kane was one of the least bad. Meanwhile, he's getting ripped to shreds on Twitter.
I was gonna say Kane because you know what? At the very least, you can say like his hip could have slowed him down, but at least he looked like he tried and gave a shit. Zibanejad looked like he was trying. Kreider looked like he was trying. Schneider, I thought Schneider actually played really well. If I was going to highlight someone, Schneider. Fox looked like shit. Lindgren, played good, but then you got guys just like, I'm going to say it, but Panarin just looked he didn't look disinterested. He just looked afraid. He looked afraid to do anything with the puck. He just,
yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'm just so fucking over it. This was just so bad. It's honestly, it's just embarrassing that this is the team that shows up. All this hype, all this, that, and the other thing. And like, this is what we show. And I'm sure Gallant will in the fucking here. This will be Gallant in the post game. Yeah. I thought we played better this game than game 5 with his stupid fucking finger tapping. With his giant
he said they played good enough in game 5, so
such a fucking jerk off, dude. If that man is not getting, first of all, don't even fucking call him a taxi. Whatever's lower than a taxi, that's what you're fucking calling him to pick him up from the rink. Because a taxi's too good for this man right now.
Yeah.
So fucking embarrassed.
Kane looked good tonight. He was trying to generate so much more than what the rest of the Rangers roster. Yeah. But these jerk-offs on Twitter will tell you otherwise. They'll tell you he's the worst. It's the worst trade in Rangers history. How dare they trade a second and a fourth for Patrick fucking Kane? How dare them?
And you know what? Fucking give the Devils credit. At least they look like they give a shit when they play hockey.
Yeah.
At least they look like they want to win. They look like they want to win. The Rangers, no. They look like a team that expects to win, but isn't willing to do anything to do it.
Yeah, you're 1,000% right. They looked They looked fucking disinterested from puck drop.
Dude, seriously. I don't even know. And to tell you the truth, I'm caught between right now. Who do you root for, the Devils or the Hurricanes? Do you want to lose to the team that lost to the team? Or do you just want to root against the team that beat you? You know?
I could care less who wins, to be honest with you.
Seriously. Just root for the West.
Root for...
Fucking joke, dude. I'm like fucking smiling right now, but like realistically, I really want to put a hole in my sheetrock. Like I'm so fucking angry right now. But I'm gonna keep my cool. I'm gonna keep my cool.
Oh, I already lost it here.
God, I'm fucking... you know, I'm just fucking just trying to keep my cool, man.
I just can't agree with this. I can't. You could argue he single-handedly won them game 2, and he played pretty good tonight. Game 6, I thought he looked good, just ended up not capitalizing on a couple of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
And I'm sick and tired of them fucking... They suck Akira off so much. Like, dude, he had a good series, fine. But how many tough saves did he actually have to make? I mean, dude, here, you know what Akira did really good? Really, really good this series? He made a lot of big chest saves. Quickest chest in the league, I think, actually. Might have the quickest chest.
Yeah.
I'm so sick to my stomach, dude. The curse of the third string goalie against the Rangers in the playoffs. We got shut out twice. We talked about in our fucking offseason primer, even our trade deadline video, we flaunted our top 9. Like, wow, if this line doesn't do good, at least this line will be there, and this line will be there. Or if this individual doesn't do good, at least we got this individual and this individual. we scored no goals in 2 of the games we played. Like, I don't know.
And then you score 1 in game 3, and then 1 also in game 4. And yes, this is the point. Kane was not brought here to be the guy. The guys that are supposed to be the guys had 1 goal combined. That being Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
They're the guys, and they didn't show up.
Yeah, they played bad. Fox looked bad ever since, is it game 4? No, game 5 when we got shut out. Yeah, he just looked bad.
Yeah, he had his worst game as a Ranger tonight. Easily. Getting to the middle of the ice, what is that? Getting it on the forecheck. Never heard of that before either.
I don't know how you have... I don't know how you have your star premier forward is making $11.5 million a year, and he resorted to chipping the puck in and not chasing it. That was our star. That was our guy, and he's just chip and chase and went 6 games without a fucking point.
Ridiculous. Lundqvist, I believe, is calling out Gallant. He said, "What was the game plan?"
I agree. Hank's been through it.
I need to see some more of these quotes. I need to see.
I'm afraid to look. I haven't been on Twitter.
Make as a badge. I gave a no shit quote. He said, "I don't think we played it as well as in game 6. I thought they played a better game and we just didn't match them."
I just saw we didn't show up. But that too, I guess.
I hope he does. I hope he does, because this fan base does not deserve Kane at all with the amount that they've ripped him to shreds. This fan base just doesn't deserve him. Let's see. Gallant said, "Talent doesn't mean a thing. You've got to play together and work together. I love to have talent, but you love to have work ethic and forecheck and stuff like that."
Wow. You know, it's crazy because we played the exact same game in game 7 we played in game 5. And he had said we played better after that game 5 game that we played in game 4, right? Didn't he say that, right? That was the quote. But now it's an issue of talent and what the team you have, right? So now it's just a totally different excuse. Like, make up your fucking mind, dude.
I was barely even able to hear the quote just because of the fact that his head's so far up his ass. Kreider. Personally, I feel responsible for some of the goals they scored. Being a veteran guy, I'm supposed to be defensively responsible. Can't be on the ice for all 4 goals and hurt us like that.
At least Kreider acts like a fucking leader and has some accountability.
And yeah, this is another thing we're not talking about enough. Keandre Miller sucked. Disgraceful. And we talked about him ad nauseum being horrendous down the stretch, and he did nothing this postseason. Did nothing. And you know what? I guess good for the Rangers in a way because his asking price, he has no leverage anymore in a contract negotiation. None. And the Rangers will probably get him at a bargain.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. I definitely want to wait at least a week before I start giving my off-season predictions and breakdowns of possibilities and stuff like that. But there are just so many guys I really just want to rip into right now. I'm not gonna just stoop to that low level right now because I know if I start going off that deep end, I'm just not gonna be able to crawl back because I'm just gonna start getting pissed off.
I mean, I think it's clear that Kane and Tarasenko won't be back next year. I think that's clear.
I don't think either one of them would want to be back, to tell you the truth. I mean, after laying an egg twice in the first round of the playoffs, I don't think either one of them would want to come back.
No, and I don't blame either of them if they want to leave. The only guy that they got at the deadline that I think might stay is Mott. That's about it.
Mott played well. I thought the fourth line did pretty well tonight, all things considered. Now, and it's not even nothing against VC because VC was playing hard. I think they could do better than VC in terms of a fourth liner. Like, I don't think VC's fully accustomed to being a fourth liner yet. I think he still has some kinks to work out. I thought Gaudreau and Mott were, for the most part, fine. But
Jimmy VC, he needs to be a rotational forward next year.
Yeah, and it's not even anything against him. It's just I think – God, I know we're nitpicking. We're talking about the fourth liners right now, but I think that's a good comment, Michael, to say, yeah, I think Ottman will get a shot. Maybe not on the first line, but definitely in the NHL. I mean, there's got to be some energy. Like we need guys that are going to create energy, not guys that are going to lackadaisically skate up the ice and just fucking just dump it and not chase it.
Kane has not spoke with the media yet, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're not blaming VC, but we're saying if we could replace certain player, that would probably be a guy you could replace. I'm not trying to shit on VC.
Yeah, we're just talking about guys that could be replaceable potentially for next season. And it's not VC's fault, but
here, you know what? Here, just to avoid any comments like that going forward, let's literally go down the list and talk about every single player. Because I know for a fact we're going to start saying names and people are going to be like, oh, well, it's not their fault. So let's just talk about every fucking player today. And we'll talk. Don't even talk about the game. Just talk about the entire fucking playoffs. Let's see what we think. Ready? Here you go. We're going for the top down. It's in number order, whatever shows up on NHL.com. Artemi Panarin. What do you got to say about Panarin?
Lazy.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Disappointing, to be honest.
Disheartening. At all of those things, just pathetic, just embarrassing. And the fact that he's making 11 sheets to do what in the playoffs? Good job, asshole. You had 1 goal in OT last year. Good job, asshole.
And it's so sad because he's such a fucking great dude. He's great in the media. He clearly loves New York, but man, he just is not big in the playoffs. And if I recall correctly, it is now 6 straight. It was 6 playoff games straight. From games 2 to game 7, he didn't record a single point. Not a single point. So next on the list, Lafreniere. I mean, I'm on the fence about Laffy. I think when he looks good, he looks good, but when he looks bad, he looks fucking awful.
Yeah, you need better from him. They needed at least a couple goals from Lafreniere that they didn't get.
Did Laffy even have a point in the playoffs?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Tyler Mott. I think Tyler Mott has the ability to be what Dominic Moore was for us for the few years that Dominic Moore had come back and played with us.
Yeah, drew 2 penalties tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He was fine.
Did everything you could have asked him to do, and he didn't lose a faceoff tonight according to NHL.com. 100% in the dot. What about Trocheck?
Also, to confirm, Lafreniere didn't. Trocheck. He was definitely the most underrated disappointment of this postseason. I had such high hopes for Trocheck going into this postseason. I thought we were going to see the best of him. I thought, man, going into the playoffs, this is going to be the guy. And we saw what he did for Carolina last year. I thought, yeah, this is the guy to look out for come playoff time. And he was beyond disappointing. I don't even think he was even good in the faceoff dot, which he was good all season long and couldn't even do that for us.
I agree. I think a thing with Trocheck that could help next season is having more energy guys on a line with him. I think when you stick him with skill guys, it ruins his game, because then his muck and grind, get in front of the net shit, it doesn't work because he doesn't have the ability to do so, because you got guys that just want to carry the puck in slowly and make plays and shit like that. And I think that definitely played into it. But Kreider, I thought Kreider was fine. I didn't think Kreider did anything bad. I thought he actually played pretty well. Yeah,
I agree. Kreider was one of the few guys that actually gave it his all.
Tried hard. He looked good. What about Gaudreau? Aside from a few really bad penalties from Gaudreau, I actually thought he played pretty hard this series and looked like a leader for the most part. And he had a couple of just shitty penalties, but that's about it.
Yeah, I didn't really have a problem. The only play that I could nitpick where he maybe could have done something better on is the Dougie Hamilton overtime winner.
Yes. That's
pretty much about it.
Did not even think about that. That's actually a good point. What about Kakko? I know. I'm a little iffy about this one too, because I thought he played well.
He didn't put up the points, but he wasn't horrendous.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on Kakko.
Like, he plays so well sometimes, but this dude couldn't get a fucking point if his life depended on it. And we already touched on VC, so we'll just move on to Hedl. I thought Hedl was
very disappointing. Very.
You know my issue is with Hedl. I think Hedl's feet move faster than he can think. Like, he is very just like chaotic speed going forward, make a play as fast as I can and almost nothing else will happen, because he's got the skill, I think, but I just think his feet move faster than he can process what he's doing.
Yeah. I 1,000% agree with that.
And that's not even an indictment of him. I'm not even saying he's shit. I'm just saying I just think he was, I don't know. He's got.
I will say though, when they put that kid line back together, pretty much the only good, like one of the least bad things, I should say. I shouldn't say good, but one of the least bad things of the night.
But the only shift that looked good was their first shift back as a line.
And then one of their last shifts also was very good.
Yeah, right, exactly. And the first shift ended with a fucking flub shot right in Akira's stomach, but whatever. Patty Kane.
I thought that he did what we brought him here for. There was a couple times, obviously, where he looked lazy on certain plays. I thought game one, he looked awful, but from there on, I thought he was fine, and he did pretty much what he was brought here to do, just be another guy and help produce points. And what do you have, 6 points?
I think so. I think that's what he finished with.
I thought he was fine, and this fan base is overblowing how Patrick Kane performed. I thought he was fine, and maybe you could argue he could have gave a better effort in Game 5, but that's just my opinion.
Dude, I agree 100%. And then a little tidbit on Kane. So the Rangers we played 7 games. He had a point in 4 out of the 7 games. And like you said, we got him as essentially a support role player. And you have a point in 4 of the 7 games. It's more than what Panarin did. So.
And Zibanejad.
Tarasenko's on deck. I thought Tarasenko played pretty well. I thought he's one of the few guys that looked like he wanted to win badly.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a shame that the team didn't do anything to help, because now he's just going to walk.
Yep. And rightfully
remember that pipe dream we had of those two taking discounts after the year?
I think the only person that would take a discount to stick around still would be Kane, and I don't think he still would. But if he does, it's something to think about, only if his hip really was fucked up. He's having off-season hip surgery, and he's going to miss a chunk of the season. And it's almost like Kind of like what the Canes did with Pacioretty this year. You reactivate him, and it's almost like a deadline pickup. Just hopefully he doesn't get hurt again like Pacioretty did. But I don't know. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he wants to. Same thing with Tarasenko. Zibanejad is the last forward on the list.
I mean, what else could I say but the biggest disappointment? The
Yeah.
biggest.
It was brutal.
I can't believe how bad he was. I seriously can't even fathom how bad he was.
Like it didn't even make sense. Like he had a point. He had 4 points in 7 games. So I don't know.
And I don't think he was good in the faceoff dot either. Like,
I don't think he
it's
was
like
either.
Jack, you're 1, 2, 3 down the middle, let you down.
Yes, 100%.
Completely.
Braden Schneider, the first defenseman.
I thought
It was good.
he was good. I think it was one game in the series where I don't remember which game it was, but I remember getting on him a bit in one of the games. But outside of that, he was good this series.
I mean, he did exactly what you could ask of him. He looked better than he did last year. He's definitely gotten better, but he's still young. He's what, 20, 21 years old? Is he 21 yet? I don't even think he's 21 years old yet. I'll have to check on that. But like he's above and beyond. Yeah, he's 21. He's above and beyond what we expected him to be at this point in his career. He's I don't know. I thought he played fine. I think he's baby Trouba, but he's a better skater than Trouba, so I think he'll be better than Trouba. But speaking of which, Jacob Trouba.
Another one who is up and down this postseason. I thought the team should have exploded after the way or after that hit that he threw. I thought the team should have started to explode and actually get some momentum.
Yep.
They didn't.
No,
but,
not even a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I still question him as a captain, but I think he could have maybe got a little bit better from him.
Now, all right, so yeah, actually, I agree with that because I thought he needed to explode a little bit sooner. Like I thought we needed like
we needed that hit sooner.
Right. And I'm not advocating for him to hurt anybody. Like what happened to Myers sucked, and I do hope Myers okay. You never root for somebody to get hurt, but we needed big hits and big plays like that earlier on. Just because, like, I mean, you noticed too, the Devils were a little bit more timid carrying the puck up the middle of the ice after that hit. And again, I'm not advocating for anybody to get hurt. You never want to ever see anybody get hurt, but it is hockey, and that's what's going to happen. You skate in the middle of the ice with your head down, you're going to get hit, and sometimes that'll fire a team up. And with the Rangers, I don't think anything could fire them up, to tell you the truth. But hell, I give it a shot. Adam Fox.
What another fucking disappointment.
God.
He was great the first few games, and then game 4 and on, pathetic. And tonight was his worst game.
He was on pace to break records for most assists in a series, and he just snooze. I
just don't understand what happened from him from those first 3 games. We were raving after the first 2 games about how he was throwing bod and he was actually playing a bit physical. Looked like he had an edge and he had an extra step to his game. I don't know where that went. I don't know.
It just disappeared. You almost wonder if he was hurt because that's how bad he was playing. Lindgren is on deck.
Thought he was okay.
I thought he was good enough, right? Like he just didn't really make any mistakes. He just did what you needed him to do, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, that pinch that he had with the Jack Hughes breakaway that ended up being
God.
Brutal. Outside of that, I mean, Fox kind of dragged him down a bit.
Isn't that wild? That's how it is right now. Like,
yeah.
Nico Mikkola.
I mean, he did his job in my opinion. He's
I agree.
A 6th defenseman. I didn't have much expectations for him. He did all right. He did what he was supposed to do. And I can't even like point out a play where I was like, Mikkola, you suck. Like he wasn't noticeable doing anything good, but he wasn't noticeable doing anything bad. He was just all right.
Do you think he comes back? Do you think the Rangers even make an effort to resign him? I wonder about that, especially with Matthew Robertson. I know Robertson was hurt for a while. And I think he's still out for Hartford. But you wonder if the Rangers put a little bit of faith in Matthew Robertson, a guy who had a pretty solid year for Hartford. Again, this is definitely a Ricky Milliner conversation, but a good year in Hartford. And I think on most teams is an NHL ready defenseman. He's physical, he skates well. He's like another modern NHL defensive defenseman. He's he'll hit, he defends really well. Guy you have on the penalty kill, probably no better than a 5'6" guy at his peak, but a reliable 5'6" guy. Maybe like a Kevin Klein type, if I could pick a random defenseman to compare him to.
I'd give him the shot next year, but if Gallant is still here, which hopefully we wake up tomorrow to him being fired. If Gallant's still here, then I just don't envision Robertson getting the opportunity.
It'll be fucking Schneider and Hayek next year.
No, it'll be Harper.
Oh yeah. The last skater, Keandre Miller.
Dog shit.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. He had a really
Awful.
bad series. Like even like his speed being his best weapon, he couldn't even really use his speed because the Devils were just so fast.
Yeah.
And we don't even need to say anything about Shesterkin. I mean, he was fucking lights out. I don't even know what else you could have demanded of this goalie. You put up they haven't registered the 7th game yet, but
they did on here. He had a .931 save percentage.
Jesus Christ.
1.96 goals against.
If your goalie is averaging less than 2 goals against, and you lose a fucking series, there is something wrong. There is something seriously fucking wrong if you have a goalie with a sub 2 goals against average and you're losing an entire series in 7 games. I feel so bad for him. Like this is literally the second coming of Henrik Lundqvist, a fucking amazing goaltender that's gonna have his career wasted away by shit teams in front of him.
No, because he's gonna leave. He's gonna be smart.
He is. Wonder where he goes.
Graham better be the real fucking deal, man. Because I don't think Igor's going to put up with this garbage.
No. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm just at a loss for everything right now. I don't even know what a solution is. You had mentioned it the last time we talked to. You wonder if a retool is in order where you just give ice time to the young guys coming up like Othman and Cooley, and you just see what happens. You don't force it. You just let it happen.
I'm starting to think that their picture here is they're not going to retool until Igor's contract's up.
Yeah.
Even though they desperately should retool, I think that they're going to they're going to run this thing back, maybe with the new coach, and try it out for 2 years and see where this goes.
They're going to need to figure out who the next coach is going to be, but I have a funny feeling it's not going to be a player coach, and I think that's for shit sure. I think
it can't be. They need a disciplinarian in that room. They need one.
I just hope they don't go like the David Quinn. Although, you know what? No, not David Quinn exactly, but almost a David Quinn type where you need a coach that's ready to win now, and you're not as worried of development. Well, I mean, you are kind of still worried about development. I don't know, man. It's a tough call to make. You at the very least, you need a coach who's coached superstars before and managed them in a way to get them to win, to buy into winning. I just don't want I don't want a Daryl Sutter. I think Mike Sullivan. I see it now in the comments. Yeah, Mike Sullivan. If the Penguins fire Mike Sullivan and you are not all over him, I don't even know what else you could do.
He's not gonna get fired. He's not.
I hope he does because we need something, dude. I don't know. You need a coach that can handle superstars. You got to figure if the Rangers might not be able to trade Artemi Panarin, it's going to be hard with almost a damn flat cap because if it only goes up $1 million, it might as well be a flat cap. To convince someone to take $11.5 million, it's more likely than not he'll be back next season. You need a guy that can coach superstars. You've got to have one. You've got to get them to buy into the system of winning.
Yeah. I genuinely don't know who the guy is. And I saw an article from Arthur Staple, I think it was after Game 5, where he was talking about the potential of heads rolling if they lose the series, like we're talking about, obviously, now after them losing the series. But I think he mentioned that if they're going to make a coaching change, it's not going to be a first-time coach. They're going to want someone with experience. They want to get someone that could come in and is ready to be, he has experience, is ready to be the guy. your options at that point: Daryl Sutter, Joe Quenneville if he's allowed back in the league, Peter Laviolette, and the list pretty much ends there.
I agree. I really hope that
I don't like any of the options. I don't.
No, I don't either. I don't see any of the options being realistic.
And Bruce Boudreau, that's another good point. Someone commented.
You know, Bruce. I wonder about Bruce Boudreau. I mean, that could be an option, but I don't know if Bruce Boudreau's wanting to coach. I think Trotz would have been the best option, but obviously that ship has sailed with him going to Nashville. I wonder about Mike Sullivan if he does get fired, but I mean that all depends on what ownership does. I almost wonder if they spitefully wait to fire Mike Sullivan until after the Rangers hire a new coach if they go the route of firing Gerard Gallant, because we don't know if they're going to fire Gallant. We don't know. We can only hope.
I really can't imagine them not. I really can't imagine them not. Like
he got outcoached by a dude whose fans were cheering for his head to roll, like a few months earlier.
Yeah, and not only that, but the expectation from Dolan was a cup this year, and you don't get out of the first round,
dude. I'm telling you,
and you lose to your rival. Dolan's not going to like that. No, he's not.
I almost wonder if the Rangers, if you remember years and years ago, when the Rangers had fired John Tortorella before they hired Alain Vigneault, they had talked to Mark Messier if they would make an not out of pocket, but like an unordinary pick like that. At least give him an interview and see what he says. Maybe have him on the bench in some capacity. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think we need to go the route of having a coach that's a disciplinarian, a coach that won before, a coach that's won before, and a coach that knows how to coach to win. Oh, there's Joey D.
Oh, he's in the chat.
Fucking Joey.
Yeah, let me get you in, Joey. Sorry that I didn't see your DM before or anything.
Oh, I
just noticed you DM too. Shit, my fault.
No, dude, you're chill. Someone just put in the comments, Fenway was crystal clear, so he ain't going nowhere. Damn.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's also helping with the GM search too.
Shit, so he's definitely not going anywhere.
Nope. 1,000% not.
Is there? I mean, there's no way this actually exists anywhere. What up, Joey? There's no way this actually exists anywhere, but there has to be somewhere you could look at a free agent list of coaches, right?
Huh.
I don't think it exists anywhere. I would love to see one if there was, because I'd actually be a little curious about it.
You guys are already on like season 5 of like the Rangers upset, disappointed talking points. I have to go through all mine now. Let me just say, hand in the air, through and through. They may have disappointed me. They may have led me on. I may have said, might have been the most melted take in high school takes history. I said this was the year.
Yeah.
I said this was the year the Rangers were going to win the cup. It just felt like it. They led me on. Those first 2 games, they had me. They had me. They had me.
All of us.
I had everybody fooled. And for that to end in such disappointment, to get shut out in 2 of the last 3 games, sandwiched between a 5-goal performance on an AHL level goaltender, is such Rangers level hockey and fan experience. It's the Rangers experience. It's through all of that, despite all of that, I can proudly say that I will be back next year rooting for the same damn team, probably dropping hundreds of dollars going to games. Probably not as much as Python or Base Chesty for that matter, but I will be here through and through, no matter who's on the team, no matter who's the coach. And no amount of disappointment can take me away from that fact. So I just have to lay that out there. And then obviously tonight was the biggest disappointment since Game 7, 2015 ECF against Tampa Bay. Simple as that.
100%.
What's your Nick tickets look like for tomorrow? I'm
He
moving
just
on.
can't.
This is like you guys were talking. You guys are speaking of other sports. You guys were talking about like how Shesterkin's goals against average was below 2. That's like
fucking
New
crazy.
York. That's New York Mets level stuff
Mhm.
right there.
A pitcher with a
That's
sub
Jacob
2
deGrom.
ERA. Yep.
That is Jacob deGrom-esque.
Dude, I got my Mets shirt on because I'm already ready to succumb to watching the Mets get their absolute asses
No,
kicked the next
Dan
6 months.
Bilesma is not the answer either.
No. Get out of here.
Dude, imagine
No,
they fucking
sorry.
hire. I actually found something NHL free agent coaches. They
Can they
hire
trade
Claude
for a coach?
Julien. I think so.
I'm driving anyone to the airport for Mike Sullivan or John Cooper if that's the case. I'll drive anyone to the airport.
Dude,
John
I would
Cooper
love it if they
is
fire John Cooper. Feed me
There's no
that.
way that's happening. I'm sorry. It's
No,
not
it won't.
happening. Not
Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but Gallant had his presser and he said, "I thought we played a real good team." Okay. Sure.
The problem, okay, let me like say my problem with this whole series. I understand the Devils are a very good team. I am not saying that the Devils are a bad team at all. I think they're a very good team. I knew they were going to give the Rangers problems. I know they're a fast team. But the Rangers ran wild on them the first 2 games. Then what happened? They made an adjustment. And I thought the Rangers still played a very solid game in game 3, and they could have very easily won that game. Like Gallant said, it was a coin toss. Very much so. But after that, you fail to make an adjustment.
Yep.
You fail to make an adjustment to what the Devils are working with.
Yep.
And you don't make that until it's far too late. Far too late. And that is my biggest problem, and that is why I think Gerard Gallant should be out the door. I defended him for far too long, and I did the same damn thing with David Quinn. I'm gonna pull the plug on Gallant right now. I
pulled the plug on both of them early.
I know you did.
Yeah.
And I remember disagreeing with you about Quinn. That was a long time.
I actually don't even remember that.
It was a long time ago, man. It was a long time ago. I felt very strongly about David Quinn. I liked him, but then at some point, with the whole Kako stuff and the Lafreniere stuff, I realized he wasn't the guy. Now with Gallant, if you don't have a guy that's putting these players putting the players in their place, like Panarin, and buying into the way the team needs to play, then you don't have the right coach. The Rangers severely disappointed this year, and it's going to be a long off season, not just for fans, but for the players too, because there's almost certainly going to be at least one major change, whether that be player personnel or in the coaching staff, somewhere along the lines.
Yep.
Chris Drury is definitely coming back for sure.
No, he's safe.
Yeah. I don't think Chris
about
Drury's
him
wrong.
on the fan, and yeah, Drury didn't do anything wrong.
No. Dude, he did everything he could. He orchestrated 2 really solid trades. I mean, at the end of the he got Tarasenko for a 1st-round pick and what was it? A 1st-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and
Hunter Skinner and
Blake.
So what are the conditions on the Kane trade now? They didn't give up a 1st-round pick.
No, they don't give up a 1st-round pick. It was just a 2nd now.
And people have the balls to complain that wasn't the right move. You have a Hall of Fame player asking out, only wanting to come to your team, and you say no to that? How could you say no to that? I've seen people say that the Rangers aren't built the way that they need to play. Well, if you want to find Tom Wilson or Brad Marchand or Matthew Tkachuk, find me that player right now. Yep. Find me that player.
This is exactly what I said to everyone.
They are not. You have to
don't grow on
draft
trees.
that player. They do not grow on trees.
Yes.
I was screaming that the Rangers trade for Matthew Tkachuk. Do whatever it takes.
Yep.
Do whatever it takes. Yes, I agree 100%. They need that player. The reason the Panthers won against the Bruins is Matthew Tkachuk. Look no further than that guy.
100%.
What Paul Maurice said, absolutely 100% true. Guy's a gamer. They don't have him, they don't win. You replace him with Huberdeau and Weegar, I don't think they come out on top in that series. They may have been worse in the regular season. Oh boy, they came to play in the playoffs though. They came ready to play.
I would have given up the fucking world for Tkachuk, dude.
And
like a Brandon Tanev, like I could see that, yeah. But like, what are you gonna do? Trade Panarin for that guy? Then you're just having another Buchnevich for Blais again. That's not what you need to do.
In hindsight, if you just look at what the Kachuk trade package would have looked like from a Rangers perspective, you would have flipped Panarin, and who would be the defenseman that they get?
Probably Schneider.
Yeah,
Although
Kachuk?
if they want if they
Schneider
want
or
is
Miller.
dude, no, if they want is like a Uyghur type, it's probably closer to Lindgren. I would think. At
That's
least
a
last
huge
season.
ask. That's a huge ask, man.
Yeah, Panarin,
I
Lindgren.
wouldn't do Lindgren. I would
Yeah,
definitely do Panarin and Schneider,
Or
but not
Miller.
Lindgren.
I would, especially with the way Miller played this
Yeah.
series, I would have drove Miller to the airport.
Yeah. Miller's like contract talks, he just tanked them so hard.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the way he played this series.
shot himself in the foot for sure.
Yeah. I have a theory about these sandpaper kind of players. I think that the Rangers could mold Lafreniere into that kind of player because he's a forechecker. He hits, physical guy. He's got skill. If they give him the right coach, I think they could do it. I think they.
It just sucks that this is how we have to talk about our first overall
know.
pick about fucking molding him into a role player.
Yeah, but like
What other choice do we have at this point?
we have the star power anyways. Like Zibanejad is like more than a role player. Kreider's a role player. If you keep Tarasenko, then he's more than a role player.
To tell you the truth, I don't see any world where Lafreniere becomes like a legitimate top line player unless a guy like Panarin is gone and he is on the top
Doesn't
line.
need to
Or
be.
if he goes elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. I bet you hear his name a lot in the offseason. I bet you hear his name. You might hear Kakko's name. I think more so Laffy.
If the Rangers fire Gallant and hire Joel Quenneville, then Panarin and Kane are staying.
You think so?
Yes, because they were obviously comfortable. I mean they didn't. Panarin didn't win with Quenneville, but Kane did.
That's true.
But I don't know. Then again, you might have.
Answer.
I don't think a lot of fans would be on board with that. But it's not up to
Comes
the
with a
fans
lot of
to make that
baggage.
yeah, it's not up to the fans to decide that.
A Stanley Cup will lead to a lot of forgiveness.
I'm not on board with Boudreaux.
There's not a coach on the market right now I'm on board with. There's not one.
No.
That's why I think it would have to be like a serious, like a totally like a pick that shocks you.
Highly against Daryl Sutter.
That's the only reason why that I think there's a chance Gallant stays. That's the only
There's no one
reason
else.
that there's
There's
no choice.
They have to wait and see if Pittsburgh fires Sullivan, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, because right now they're in such a tough situation because you could fire Gallant and hire a guy that you're content with, but obviously you don't love enough. But then you're shooting yourselves in the foot where there's a potential opening there for Sullivan to get fired next offseason. And then what are you going to do? Just fire the guy that you just hired?
Exactly. I think we're having this conversation. I don't think they're going to fire Gallant.
It's tough. It's
a tough decision. It really,
I can't blame.
I
can't put all the blame. I cannot put all the blame on the players, man. Like because it wasn't like they were like fully out of it in some of the games, but at the same time, they still went up against an AHL level goaltender and could not beat him. But if you paid attention to the games, you would know that the Rangers didn't have that much time and space to move with the puck. They were also late to more than half of the puck battles.
Yeah,
more
that's
than
another
half
thing too.
of the
There was no
50-50
hustle.
puck battles.
Yep.
They just didn't have the speed. So that makes me think like the Rangers need to find some speed somewhere in the offseason.
They were batting below 100 on 50-50 fucking pucks.
Yeah, they were. Tonight was horrible, and for a good portion of that first period in Game 6, they were also losing puck battles. It wasn't until they got that first goal that everything started going their way, and then after that, it was just
Well, no matter what, there's going to be players, and I say players plural, that are not UFAs that are not going to be back next season, and I don't know who they're going to be. I don't know who the Rangers are going to move out. Really, I don't. They just signed Hedel to an extension, so let's not even bother bringing that out because they're not trading Hedel. I think Laffy's a candidate. I think Lindgren's a candidate. I'm not saying who I want to trade. I'm specifically saying who we're going to hear. So this is not me saying who I want gone. This is who I think we're going to hear names get thrown out there. We're going to hear Laffy, Lindgren, Panarin, but he won't waive his no moving clause, so he'll not get moved. Kakko, Gaudreau. You might even hear Kreider's name out there, but the problem is it's the no movement clause on this team. They do not have to waive if they do not want to, and I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Just going to cap friendly real quickly. We'll take a look at the
Which is
Rangers.
why I think if they get the right coach that they could fix this.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is a team that went to the conference finals.
If you could trade for Mike Sullivan or John Cooper, do it. If you could do it, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible, though.
I don't think it is either. So next season, you've got Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, Trocheck, and Trouba all with full no movement clauses. Every fucking one of them.
Yeah.
And yes, I agree with you. I question the core as well. And you know what? I'm not saying Panarin's not fixable, but this is his 4th year of his contract with us, and he hasn't shown anything at any point aside from one overtime goal against Pittsburgh that he is a playoff player. And that's what we need right now, is a playoff player. Like, listen, you can get 80 points from almost. I mean, look here. Just I know I'm doing too much right now, but just going to the stats for the regular season in the NHL. Panarin had 89 points, correct?
Yeah, I think he had 89.
Okay, so regular season scoring, all leaders. Okay, so Artemi Panarin was 17th in the NHL in scoring. Ahead of him was Crosby, Point, Marner, Hughes, Carlson, Pettersson, Nugent Hopkins, Rantanen, Robertson, Kachuk, McKinnon, Kucherov, Pastrnak, Seidel, and McDavid. Yeah, like elite players, top players in the NHL. But just below him, William Nylander, Clayton Keller, Hyman I'm not going to mention, but Malkin, Skinner, Miller, Tavares. He's like there were 31 players with 80 or more points. He's not easily replaceable, but he is replaceable. Let's call a spade a spade. He is replaceable.
I'd rather make this team deeper with. I'd rather make this team deeper with 2 to 3 better players than just him right now.
But Nick,
I agree 100%.
Which I get that he's replaceable, but which player, like, which of these guys would possibly be available in a trade?
I don't think any of them, but I think what an option could potentially be, especially if the turnover isn't great going next season, meaning that we have a lot of guys shipped out. I wonder if you could orchestrate a Marian Gaborik type trade where you get your Brassard, Dorsett, John Moore, basically 3 players that essentially, not single-handedly, but played a huge role in turning around a very mediocre Rangers team that year until they traded Marian Gaborik and went on a fucking run for the next 4 years.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Because and this is
but
just
like,
going,
which holes would you fill? And so by doing that, you would move up Lafreniere. Yeah,
you got to give him the reins.
So you would put Lafreniere up. So you're looking at a center of like a 4th line player and a defenseman.
So just hold on. Let me do this really, really quickly. So the cap's going up to 83.5, correct?
Yeah.
Going up 1 million. Okay. Just type in a random name for this thing, just so I could actually see what the fucking roster looks like. All right. So RFAs. It's Laffy and Miller, right? Those are the RFAs this season.
Yep.
Okay. So Laffy, Miller. All right. So if Panarin is gone, you put Laffy and Miller in. You have 1 right wing, middle 6, and 1 left wing 3rd liner. If you don't re-sign anybody else, so just the top 6 with
Othman's gonna slot in probably.
Right. So like with Laffy, without Panarin, you have Laffy, Kreider, Gaudreau as your 3 wingers on the left side. Your centers are Zibanejad, Trocheck, Hedel. Your wingers are Kakko and VC. Those are your guys under contract. I'm assuming Othman gets the call up, so you throw him on that left side. So there's your 3 left wingers, right? You've got 2 spots open on the right side. You've got your second line right winger and your third line right winger. You get 2 guys that can play a pain in the ass role and be a Derek Brassard type, and I think you're in business. But I don't know what team has guys like that available. Maybe if Calgary, goes a route where
Minnesota.
they go a full tear down, I wonder if a guy like Andrew Mangiapane would become available. But would they want another contract comparable to?
This is a guy on the
Johnny
free agent market
Huberdeau.
I'd be interested in.
I mean, I would always wanted Mangiapane, but with the intention of having him with Panarin, obviously. But I mean, let's not go there because everything's sad right now. I mean, Minnesota, I think, would be a good team to trade with because
Yes.
of what just happened to them as well. Like they could use a change or two there. Like they have.
They'd be
Kaprizov-
foaming at the mouth if they could get Panarin and Kaprizov to play together.
Right.
Could you imagine?
And they have a lot of players. They could they have Eriksson Ek. They have
Oh
Matt
my god, I would
Boldy,
love Eriksson Ek on this
Zuccarello.
team.
Zuccarello.
Yes.
Imagine
Bring him back.
That's the Zuccarello revenge tour. So here, just spitballing out loud now. Assuming the cap goes up $1 million, the Minnesota Wild only have $3.5 million of cap space going into next season. The guys under contract for forwards, Marcus Foligno, an option. You're talking a guy who had 30 goals. Joel Eriksson Ek,
30
Zuccarello,
goals.
pending UFA. Ryan Hartman, another pain in the ass player. But you also got to realize too, you're sending an $11.5 million player the other way. They've only got $3 million in cap space, and they've got a lot of UFAs and RFAs. So unless you're taking significant money back the other way, I just don't see how it works out. As much as I'd love Marcus Foligno and or Ryan Hartman, I don't know how Minnesota does it unless they are moving other money around, i.e.
like Eriksson Ek.
Jonas Brodin or an Eriksson Ek or something like that. Because
So
you got to realize too, they have $14.7 million in buyout cap this offseason between Suter and Parise. And another $14 million in a season after that.
I got you. Yeah. All right. So let's kind of so we're saying a center, fourth line player, and a defenseman, right?
I think
if we want to compare the trade, right?
I think you could do a little better in a Panarin trade.
Yeah,
I think you could get Eriksson Ek, and then I would say one of Rossi or Steele because that would be your almost like your Brassard kind of thing, but Eriksson Ek is your Brassard because Brassard was kind of established at that point.
I would almost say those two are closer to the John Moore type, a young guy who hasn't done much in the NHL yet.
Marco
but has a lot of
Rossi or
potential.
Sam Steele.
Yeah, I think that would be a safer bet because you're talking about a young guy who's played in the NHL but hasn't done a whole lot.
I like John Merrill, but he is signed for 3 years. I don't know if that's a.
And he's
31.
Yeah.
Middleton, he's signed for 3 years. He's 27.
Yeah, I just don't know if the Rangers look to get a defenseman unless they're moving one out.
I don't think Minnesota's the dance partner for this one.
I don't. No? But you know a team I do wonder about, a team that was talking about having a quick turnaround, was the St. Louis Blues.
I was also thinking about that because they have a lot of guys there. I mean,
you're not Craig Berube in the trade.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to have Berube.
You know what I was.
Yo, wait, actually, hang on a second. If they fire him, I would not
my
be
number one option.
I would not be opposed to Craig Berube.
I don't think he's getting fired though. I think it would have happened by now. The Blues they've had a month to fire him now. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I agree. Although I would fucking love
Otherwise,
him.
I would have. Yeah, I would have been on board 1,000%. And yeah, Agent Smith, Dan Bilesman is not the answer. I'm tired of that name. He hasn't coached in the NHL in 6 years. That's a red flag in itself. He's not the answer.
There's not a whole lot of options on St. Louis. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Aside from Buchnevich, Kapanen, I wouldn't even take a risk on, although you could. Vrana, Logan, there's not really a whole lot of options there, but it's a team that would probably be interested in.
Python, who were you referring to in free agency that you would take a?
Bertuzzi.
Yeah, Tyler Bertuzzi would be a nice option.
I guess he's a sandpaper kind of guy, but
What about Nashville, dude? That's
The
a
way he
team that's
performed
kinda
in
there.
the
Nashville too.
postseason.
Yeah, Nashville's like
Artemi Panarin for Brandon Saad.
Oh god. Oh god. Stop it.
What?
But
He
dude,
has
I
cups.
mean Nashville. Dude,
like
Nashville's
which
actually
team? Which I could see Panarin accepting a trade to Minnesota because he would be playing with Kaprizov.
but not Nashville. Like Nashville's kind of like a fun city because like Nashville, you're
But
you're looking at
who-
you're
Or
looking
who
at
I
on
could see him
Nashville's
going to
worth
Florida
getting?
too because if you remember, if you go back to when Panarin was a
Free agent. Colorado is
Florida-
one of the other
Florida.
destinations.
Florida was in there too because of Bobrovsky.
Florida definitely can't afford them. Florida and Colorado, I'm gonna go ahead and say are
Like,
probably
Yeah,
I
they're
would-
they're out.
Like I'm thinking Colorado, like if it was a straight up swap of Panarin for Rantanen, but that would never happen.
And the problem is with Colorado is the only forwards they have under contract past this season. Rantanen, McKinnon, Nichushkin, Lehkonen, Landeskog, and Logan O'Connor. No one else is under contract past this season for forwards.
Why does Nashville only have 9 forwards under contract?
Yeah.
Phil Forsberg's on IR.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
But who
Colton
on Nashville is worth
Sissons?
getting?
Sissons.
Yeah, I'll say Colton
is
Sissons.
locked up, and he's cheap too, isn't he? Like a role player.
2.8 million. He'd probably be like a good third. He'd be like a Jesper Foss type, like a utility guy. But
Trennan, isn't that guy good too? I have
He's
no
okay.
idea about any
I mean,
of these.
they're
I,
just-
guys.
I don't love Nashville as a partner either. I
These
don't.
guys
no.
don't move me.
the most attractive thing they have is 2
Oh,
first-round
wait.
picks.
We're not
Wait,
talking
this-
about Winnipeg enough.
that
Oh my god.
Zachary
Eric
Leroux.
Dubois.
Wait. I remember this guy, Zachary Leroux. Drew Way was saying this guy is like if you draft him, you could develop him into a like a Kachuk kind of play. Like he's a gritty
Yes, when
kinda,
he's not hurt.
okay. Well, he is also 19 years old.
What about
Winnipeg, you said?
Winnipeg could be a team. They
But-
need
but
to.
no,
they
Yeah, but
need
would
to shake
Panarin
up.
want to
no.
go to? Would Panarin want to go to Winnipeg?
That's a fair point.
you could offer $20 million a year, he wouldn't waive to Winnipeg. I promise you.
Panarin for
fair
point.
Anaheim's due for a bit of a turnaround. You wonder if he'd like the West Coast.
He wants to play at Strome again. Come on, Panarin. You want to be back with
that-
Strome. We know it.
Because honestly, just looking at their rosters, no one I could really even think of the Rangers being like super interested in.
Like
And,
if you're
I know we're just
trading Panarin, you gotta
spitballing
get
and
a
doing
lot
this for
back.
fun. Yeah,
I'd almost
and-
rather because of like what teams can
Arizona.
offer, I would almost rather take Berube over trading Panarin for a package.
Yeah. I agree with
Like-
that 150%.
Like we know John Cooper is not getting fired. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
1 first round
Yeah.
playoff exit. Okay, 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals. Not gonna happen. Mike
What if
Sullivan.
you traded?
I don't
Go
think
ahead.
he's going to get fired.
No, he's not. But now hear me out. There's a team that has a number 1 defenseman, a point per game winger, and a former captain that's won a few Stanley Cups that I think we can get in one trade for Artemi Panarin.
Talking about
Panarin
LA.
to Arizona for Voracek, Shea Weber, and Andrew Ladd.
Not a bad trade.
What are you
I'm co-signing
talking?
that.
Are you
I'm co-signing
you
that.
high?
What?
You sound insane.
What?
Medicated.
Insane right now.
What?
You should
Voracek's
be medicated.
he's played in the Stanley Cup before, hasn't he?
And Shea Weber, dude, you're talking about one of the best defensemen of all time.
Yeah.
Andrew Ladd, cup guy. Brian Little, can't
good.
forget about him.
He's good. Panarin to LA for Elias Anderson.
LA.
Actually, hold on. LA might be an option.
Yo, you
Oops.
give me Adrian Kempe.
Oh, sign
Give
me
me
all the way the
Kempe.
fuck up.
Kempe. Who else do
Dano.
we have? Arthur Kaliev.
6'10" Barstool would fucking jizz all over himself if we got Dano.
Oh God, yes, Dano.
Dano
Yes.
and Kempe.
No, they're not gonna. They wouldn't trade Dano and Kempe for Panarin.
I would convince them. I would forge old mafia ties to bring him over.
Alex Laferriere.
No, we already have we already have
Andre
one
Lee,
left.
not Anders Lee, but Andre Lee.
we trade Panarin to Vancouver, but get the wrong Elias Pettersson.
No, we could get Dano and Kempe though. We could
It's possible. If it's
Put Boy-
possible.
Kempe
Put-
scored 40 goals this year.
put
Did
Boyko
he?
in the deal.
That guy shoots.
Put
He
Boyko
shoots.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
deal.
he did score 40 goals. You tell me.
I like that. Like Kempe and who was it?
I think Kempe's probably untouchable.
No, he's not.
Freaking
No, he's not.
Panarin.
If you put
What about
Boyko in
the
the deal,
cap
it's a
space?
goalie. It's a goalie. They need a goalie. Put Boyko in the deal. And it's
You
done.
sure they wouldn't? You sure they wouldn't want Euro Halak?
Maybe.
They also need to eat some salary here because they have let's see, next year they only have $2.5 million in space, and they have
Who's that? LA.
and they have McEwen, Rasmus Kupari, Velarde, Anderson Dolan, Elias Anderson, Gavrikov, Tobias Bjornfot, Alex Edler,
I love that. name.
Corpusalo, and Jacob Ingram to sign. That's a lot.
Hey, Detroit's got $30 million in cap space.
Dylan, you're on to
Dylan
something.
Larkin.
Mm-hmm. I think
Dylan Larkin's
Cop.
not
I think
going anywhere.
Cop for Panarin. One for one.
No. Chat's got it right. Boyko's not the goalie that LA wants. Louis Dominguez. Louis Dominguez playoff experience. There you go. The package is done. Panarin and Domingue for Kempe Dano.
See,
And a fourth.
This is so much more complicated than I thought
So,
it would be because
all right,
the cap not moving hurts.
But like seriously, next year, I don't think Kane's coming back.
No.
Unless it's peanuts.
I think he's more likely to come back than Tarasenko. Only
Still
because of
think
his hip
that.
injury. If his hip is really messed up and he's going to miss half the season anyways, I think it's more likely he comes back than he doesn't. If his hip is actually messed up.
Oh my God, there's so much the Rangers have to do. It's gonna be. I'm telling you, man, this is gonna be really long. It's gonna be painful. So I mean, you're gonna have to sit back and wait for the details to come about.
We
Right?
still have to wait 2 months for free agency. This sucks.
Again, the Knicks and the
Yeah.
Rangers can't be good at the same time.
No, it's
And,
not.
I
it's
mean, the
just
Knicks
not
are going to get bounced in the second round now, so it doesn't matter.
Do you think the Rangers could orchestrate a trade almost similar to the Stepan one where you trade Panarin for a top 10 pick? If a team's dumb enough to trade a top 10 pick in this draft?
Yeah, but I was thinking about like first round picks, but like, are they gonna be ready anytime soon?
Oh,
They're
I
not
was, just,
rebuilding.
I
The
was
Rangers
just-
are not rebuilding.
I was just going to see if we could ruin another top 10 pick. I was just curious. I think we're trying to set a record, and I was figured if we could ruin like one or two more top 10 picks, we could set a record.
Like if you trade Panarin for the first overall pick, is Bedard actually going to be that good? Is he going to be like Matthews or McDavid level? Is he that good?
Yes, but for Hartford.
It's not worth it, man.
It'll never happen. First of all, whoever wins that draft lottery literally hit the lottery, and yeah, I'm convinced there is no possible way you could acquire the first overall pick in this draft unless you're Arizona, and you win the lottery twice and get the second. And you can't win the lottery twice and get the third overall pick anymore. Never mind. There is no way a team anywhere in the world could acquire the first overall pick without trading Connor McDavid or their entire franchise for the first overall pick.
Yeah. I think that we have our answer to that Panarin's probably not going anywhere this offseason.
Yeah. I think that's a given.
Oh,
I think we
wait.
called
Hang
it.
on a second. Andrew Brunette, if he's an assistant coach,
Yeah. I
No.
don't think it's happening. I don't
Nope.
I don't
Nope.
I think he just molested this team. I don't think he'd want anything to do with it. After watching that.
I'm not on board either way. Nope.
if Todd McClellan gets fired, what about him? No.
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 There's
He's-
no. This.
There's not a single attractive coach. Craig Berube would be the only one I consider,
Greg Berube.
aside from Sullivan. Fucking Berube would be awesome.
Apparently, I'm reading this ESPN article from Emily Kaplan. Apparently, Marco Sturm is he's the AHL Ontario Reign head
Yeah.
coach. He said, or she said, one respondent put it bluntly, nobody would be surprised if he takes over for Todd McClellan as the coach of the LA Kings one day. Marco Sturm was a good player back in the day,
It was solid.
but
We need a fucking disciplinarian. I don't know what kind of coach Marco Sturm is, but we can't have some fucking.
what's his name? Daryl Sutter, a disciplinarian.
Yes, but that is like so over the deep end. Oh god.
Mark Savard.
The Rangers could finally do right by Mark Savard, imagine. I wonder if the Rangers try to bring Messier back in the organization in some role.
No, please.
was-
No,
not as a coach, not as a coach, but
Oh,
in the
God.
organization in some role.
No, I think he likes the ESPN gig.
Think so?
Yeah.
I always wonder, man.
Laviolette, I don't think is the answer either, Chet.
No, not Laviolette.
Watch we're just searching for answers and they just bring AV back.
I'll shoot myself with my Nerf gun.
Nice save.
Yeah.
Nice save for the YouTube guidelines.
Spencer
Yeah.
Carberry, Maple Leafs assistant coach. I don't know. Jeff Blashill. No.
No.
Dallas
Eakins.
Get out of here.
Do you think Chuck Fletcher can coach?
Steve Ott.
Actually, Otto would be kind of sick. But I don't know. I think he's too much. I don't think he's a disciplinarian. I think he's more of a
Teach him
player's
how to
coach.
win a face-off.
Ain't that the fucking truth? Oh, Dubinsky. I love Dubinsky. I miss Dubinsky.
I've seen people joke around and say like Bally should be the coach.
Some people are saying Callahan should.
Hey man.
No, Callahan's only good for interviews.
Hey man.
Yeah.
Just playing. Iron Mike Keenan. Could you imagine that psychopath coming back? Actually,
I saw that guy on a podcast recently, though.
I actually think a big shakeup to the core would help. And like, I mean, I like to think about it like this. When you think about that teams that had their franchise turn around, what happened before they turned their franchise around? Before the Islanders went on a bunch of playoff runs, John Tavares walked away. Before the Columbus Blue Jackets became relevant, they traded Rick Nash away. Before the Rangers got better and went on their cup runs, they traded Marion Gaborik away. Before the Buffalo Sabres turned their franchise around, they traded Jack Eichel away. I mean, there is a trend when teams trade away top players and get a bunch of players to replace them, they do well. So if the Rangers can find a way to do that, I think they should, because there are trends. The Edmonton Oilers traded away Wayne Gretzky. What did they do that year? Won the Stanley Cup. There are trends to this stuff. This stuff does not happen by accident.
Got out of the first round after trading Huberdeau.
Thank you. There are trends that happen with this. It's not always, but the majority of the time is teams are turning things around pretty damn fast after trading away a superstar.
Luke, I don't think Claude Julien's the answer either, by the way.
No. He won a Stanley Cup with Boston, but I mean, I'm not convinced. It doesn't move the needle for me. Telling you, the guys that move the needle for me: Craig Berube, Mike Sullivan, John Cooper.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a short list.
That is.
Barry Trotz would have been on that list, but if he had to take that Nashville gig.
Of those three, Craig Berube is the most likely.
I think so.
But I mean, if Doug Armstrong just up and starts trading away his players and goes on full on rebuild, then I think it would make sense for him to move on from Berube too, because he is like a win now coach.
Right.
And I would hope to God that Chris Drury books an interview with him, because man, that guy is he says it how it is, but he's not like an old. I talked to him. He understands the analytics. Like, he understands that stuff, that you have to be good at both ends of the ice. You have to understand the analytics. You have to, know how to get to the dirty areas, like that kind of stuff. He's very, very detailed. You know what I mean? And he rallies the troops together. Like when they won the cup, they pulled it out of their ass.
You know who'd be like a really good player for the Rangers? I think a guy that could shoot, pass, forecheck, backcheck, play penalty kill, power play, 5-on-5, and just work his ass off every single shift.
Pavel Buchnevich.
Pavel fucking Buchnevich.
Was that actually?
Yep, it was actually who I was talking about.
Oh wow.
Not saying like one player solves all, but you gotta admit, kind of miss Pavel Buchnevich. guy that literally worked his bag off. But Book
Yeah,
never
but
said
that's
ignore
not the
that.
difference in this series.
No,
though.
it's not. Well, hold on. I don't know. A guy like that in your top six, working his bag off, motivating everybody else. Because
We already had Kreider doing that.
yeah, but Kreider doesn't have hands or can't snap passes like Book did.
I don't think anything.
Who knows?
The
We could have
Devils
had a
made one.
Buchnevich goal in
right.
in OT game 3.
This
Series
is
ours.
what frustrated me so much. The Devils made one adjustment the entire series. One adjustment. It was not even the goaltender, because the goaltender, they could have just put a brick in there and it still would have had the same effect, because the Rangers had no space. They played all 5 defenders in all 5 forwards in the defensive zone. All 5 players. Sorry, I can't speak. 5 skaters in the defensive zone, and they clogged everything. They won every puck battle that way, because every time there was a Devil on the puck, it seemed like there was 3 Devils with him. Every time a Ranger was on the puck, it only seemed like there was 1 guy there.
Yep.
And it was just this same thing over and over again for 60 minutes. For 60 minutes, and we had to suffer and watch the Rangers die a slow, painful death as they failed to make an adjustment and chip pucks deep and play a north-south game, and instead force east-west passes. Like, I understand you play to your skill set. The Rangers have this very much a skilled-oriented team, but they were a very good forechecking team this year as well. They caused a lot of turnovers, and they created a lot of offense. Corey Schneider, all3zones.com, if you guys are familiar. The Rangers were a top 5 team in both forecheck and rush offense. And they were like the only team throughout the entire season to do that. So the fact that they didn't buy into that forecheck style is concerning.
That pretty much went all downhill after the acquisitions.
Yeah, Tom.
That was the adjustment. Yes, one adjustment.
And it worked.
It worked. One adjustment. Yes, exactly. That was the one thing they changed.
Will the Rangers just ever figure out how to
around.
beat the neutral zone trap?
No. Yes, thank you, Python. Thank you. They did for one game. They figured it out for one game.
Yeah, and I really thought they would have carried that into Game 7, but
I thought they were going to
shame on me.
I thought
Shame
they
on
were
me.
going to do it.
We're just suckers for believing they will.
I hate that they prolong this bullshit. Like, you should have lost Game 6.
Yeah, I agree. You get it out of the way, rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a boring offseason. Like, we can throw all these hypotheticals out there, but it's going to be one of the most boring.
It's going to be
underwhelming
underwhelming compared to what we think.
Or
compared to what we're speculating right now.
Gotta book a lot of interviews this year, this offseason. Jesus.
We got to get
Gallant gets fired. What's the date?
Before
I say they're going to take a week to make the decision.
Yeah, it'll be long before the draft. I bet you it'll be before the playoffs are over.
They don't fire him if they don't have a replacement in mind. They're not bringing Chris Knobloch up.
That's why I think they're going to take a week to make this decision.
Might be a little while.
At least a week. At least a week.
I would wait until the second round is done. So, like, let's say,
yeah.
All right, are there any teams in the second round right now? If they lose right now, would it be considered a disappointment enough to like fire the coach?
Potentially Sheldon Keefe with the Leafs.
That's the only. Yeah, there's nobody else.
I don't think the Leafs are coming out of that series. I don't think the Leafs are going to lose that series. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But that if they do, that's really about it for guys that would potentially get fired.
Okay, hang on a second. Wait a minute. If New Jersey beats Carolina,
Brendan Moore's not getting fired.
It could make
sense. Carolina's banged up. That will be their reason or their excuse for losing that round. It's not going to fall on Brendan Moore. If they had a healthy team, then sure, then maybe. But I just don't think that it's going to happen because of that.
The fact that one of the Devils, Hurricanes, Leafs, or Florida Panthers are going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals is fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah.
The Rangers had their opportunity, man.
We talked about this earlier. Sullivan's helping with the GM search. Whoever is hired in Pittsburgh as the GM is not going to fire Sullivan.
Imagine that helps get you hired.
Also, even Yeah, one, that would be scummy to do after he helps you get a job. But not only that, why would you fire? What GM is going to walk in there and fire a guy that's a top 5, top 3 coach in the league? It just doesn't make sense to do.
Well, I mean, he wasn't a top 5, top 3 coach, but when Drury took over, he fired David Quinn.
That's true.
Not at all the same thing.
But David Quinn also didn't recruit Chris Drury.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, dude? Like, hey, thanks for getting me this job. By the way, pack your shit.
Yeah.
I think Chris Drury recruited David Quinn.
And I think that your point is absolutely accurate, Joey. That if they're gonna fire Sullivan at all, by the small chance, I don't think it's gonna happen, but by the small chance it happens, I think that they would wait to see what the Rangers do to make sure Sullivan does not go to the Rangers.
Wait, I said that?
One of you said it, at least. One of you
What
said.
about? Oh, that was me earlier.
Oh,
But
I
also,
thought that was.
but
sorry.
also you got to remember too, if Pittsburgh fires Mike Sullivan, they also have to grant the Rangers permission to talk to Mike Sullivan.
That too.
Which I don't
Yeah.
think that happens. I don't think there's a chicken dick's chance that happens.
That's true. Yeah. Because there will be obviously other teams looking to hire Sully. Why would
well,
the
they can't
Pens
just
give
say
permission?
no to every single team.
Well, yeah, but that's
Technically,
they'll
they
give.
can.
They could, but I think they would. They're gonna wait for some team in the West, and then they'll give permission. Because why would any team's gonna line up to get Sullivan, or most teams will. And if there's someone in the West, then I'm sure Sullivan would get permission. But again, I don't think he's going anywhere. It
Put
doesn't
it this
matter.
way, there is more likely a chance of what's like a mathematical impossibility. There's more likely a chance for there to be a warm summer day in Winnipeg than Mike Sullivan end up being the Rangers coach. So in other words, it ain't.
Well, what's a warm summer day? Because like, what are we talking here? Are we talking
Like
40 degrees?
I was thinking a warm summer day is probably like 38 and a half, like just above freezing.
Oh, the AC! Put it on.
they got the fucking guinea tees and the shorts and the flops.
They
on.
have they're
like, oh god,
waving the newspapers at themselves.
They got an ice pack on their neck. I'm fucking sweating out here.
They got the armpit stains.
We can take the dog to the dog park today, but yeah, I'm out there too long. Gotta stay hydrated.
Mike Yo.
That Mike fucking Yo. That dude is the most confusing looking man in the world. He has the youngest face in the world, but one of the baldest heads ever. And he wears glasses that are way too big for his bald head because despite his head being bald, it's very tiny. Am I being really judgmental right now? I don't mean to be. But he is just an oddly shaped and looking dude.
I mean, you're not wrong. I still love how they went from Elaine Vigneault to Mike Yo. Vigneault to Mike Yo.
Oh my god. God, the fucking Rangers suck. I hate being a Rangers fan. I have a court case. I actually have an appearance in court. I'm suing my parents on Wednesday for raising me a Rangers fan.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm fighting for custody of my siblings, so they don't no longer have to be under the oppression of my family and their Rangers fan ways.
Yeah, I'll be in the tattoo removal shop soon.
Oh my god.
I don't know where the Rangers go from here, man.
I don't either. It's such a
what to do,
confusing
man.
path. It's so confusing. I said earlier, I really think that the window for this core is going to be up to the end of Igor's contract.
I agree. I don't see how they afford him. I don't think
unless they move other stuff out and unless the cap goes up by that time. When does Shesterkin's contract end?
Not
Year after
next year, but the year after.
Damn. So
his
they
contract
only signed him
ends
for 4 years.
Ooh. And he's a UFA in Panarin's last year of his contract. So it's not even like Panarin's money comes off the book. Trouba's money doesn't come off the books till a year after. Kreider's contract doesn't come up to 2 years after that. Like there's just
my god.
Yeah. And the player of reference, the obvious choice, would be Henrik Lundqvist as a comparable. And Henrik Lundqvist made on his final contract with the Rangers 13.67% of the cap. Oh no, hold on. Yeah,
Yeah,
13.22%
back then
of
though,
the
the
cap.
cap was the ceiling was much lower though. Don't forget.
Exactly. That's why that's why I only operate in percentages, assuming the cap jumps about $5 million in the next. Let's say the cap when Chesty's contract is, let's say it's
I was looking at
87.5.
it. I was looking at it yesterday because I had to write an article for school. They were saying that it should it's estimated by 25-26 to be 92 million.
So that's the year after his contract's up.
Okay, so that means the cap is going down,
Right.
is what I'm understanding.
Might as well be.
Wait, how is it
Should-
going down?
No, I just meant knowing the NHL. That means
Yeah.
they're lying and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
gonna go
yeah,
down.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
have
well,
to
I mean,
adjust for inflation.
If the Leafs go all the way this year, then I mean that'll help with the revenue sharing. You know what I mean?
You can revenue share my ass. This cap should have fucking been up years ago.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of this crap, man. Just fucking
Yeah.
abolish the cap.
The
Vote 'em out.
the NFL salary cap is like double the NHL salary cap. It's like
We need to organize a protest.
something million.
We need to organize the anti-cap movement. No more cap. A bunch of millennials are going to join us thinking we're talking about like people lying, but we're really just talking about the NHL salary cap. No more cap. No more cap. All the keyboard warriors are going to show up. Yes. No more cap. Could be fucking mayhem at the NHL headquarters.
No, the keyboard warriors are gonna be upset because we got rid of their one thing that they could say.
There's you can't say the word capital anymore. The US just abolishes the word. It's no longer caps lock on your computer. It's cap lock, not cap lock. It's salary cap lock or something like that. Just something totally stupid.
Oh, guys, also, I don't care what you say. That was a clean hit by True, but I saw someone freaking out about how he's a dirty player and that he's a piece of shit.
Did somebody in
and-
my chat freak out about it?
No.
Okay,
I
I was
didn't
gonna
look at the
say because
chat, but,
I
like,
would love to time them out if so.
It's clean as a whistle. Myers' head was down, all shoulder, no elbow. He's trying to spark his team. We know the deal. If you haven't watched the Rangers, if you haven't watched Trouba play, then you don't know.
And Meyer was back on the bench by the third period, by the end of the game.
Myers fine. Trouba was sending a message. It was a clean hit, and stop.
Tom A made a good point in your comments. The Rangers were worse with unlimited funds.
The Rangers were worse with unlimited, like in early 2000s, like when they had Mike York
And Bobby Holik and all that.
Bobby Holik. Yeah, I was looking at buyouts. I think the Rangers used 3 compliance buyouts on one on Bobby Holik, one on Wade Redden, and the other on Brad Richards.
Why am I a fan of this team?
What do we do to ourselves, man? We're like, you know what? The Rangers and Mets aren't so different. Giving a shitload of money to over-the-hill players just to buy them out and pay them forever.
Hey, I mean, maybe they could take a page out of the Mets book. They're playing Brett Beatty, and he's coming through. He looked really good today.
He looked really good today.
The Mets
Well,
today.
that would require Golan getting out of here
True.
for that to happen.
Yeah.
So when
Like,
are
who's
you
the
guys?
Buck Showalter of the NHL?
Probably Joel Quenneville, if you're talking about a guy that's just been around for a
Yeah,
long
man.
time.
Yeah, but like, is that a good enough fix? Like Joel Quenneville?
No, not at all.
You don't think so?
I think
Nope.
Jesus Christ and fucking the Prophet Muhammad could be your coach and co-coach, and this team would still be
all
fucked.
right. Yeah.
But
All right.
I'm being
So then
inclusive. I'm
being-
being inclusive.
being-
with
it's-
Quenneville, you heard Kane, like he was talking to the media multiple times when he got here, and it was like, oh yeah, the practices feel the same as Quenneville. Like a lot feels like how Quenneville operated back in Chicago. So it's like you're not gonna make much of a difference at that point. So it's no point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It would take. I don't think it's the.
But Gerard Gallant hasn't won cups before. Like, he could take you to the dance, but can he take you to the promised land? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
guess, but
Quenneville might have something else up his sleeve that Gallant has not used. You know?
Did we just lose Joey?
But
no, he's still here for me.
yeah,
Hold
you
on.
guys hear me still?
My shit. Just
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. I mean, anyways, what I was saying was like the in-game adjustments for the Rangers over the past couple years have been like almost non-existent. Like it's almost like you have to wait till the next game to see an adjustment. You can't do it. You can't call timeout and make
What
the
is wrong
adjustment
with
right away.
Yeah, it's a sin to do that. God forbid.
It's so annoying. And like the line juggling, like I don't know why it was so obvious that you needed to play more physical in this game, and you put Panarin and Kane on the same line.
And it was obvious in game 3 and 4
Like
and
you dump the
5
puck
and
in,
this.
and Kane shies away from a body check because that's the kind of player he is. He's not going to make a huge body check. He's never been that kind of player. What do you expect? So it's like, oh yeah, Kane's doing nothing, but the way the Devils are playing, and the style you need to play, you need to, you know, like coordinate your roster around that style and make the adjustment. You know what I mean? Like, so they had the right idea of putting like Kreider, Trocheck, and Kane. Like, that's good because you have two north-south players with an east-west play. Like, that works.
Yeah. I mean, Arthur Staple, it looks like, is beating the drum that the Rangers will go after Quenneville if he's, of course,
Is he?
allowed to by the league. I mean, not necessarily like the point where it's like, yeah, they're gonna fire Gallant right away for Quenneville if he's reinstated by the league. But like he's been beating the drum in a couple of articles about Joel Quenneville. So I really wonder if it's like a real thing that could happen if he's approved by the league again.
I mean, I don't have a subscription to The Athletic. Sorry, guys. I'm not paying to read an article that, probably should be for free.
He
Like,
said it after game 5, in one of his
what is
articles.
this article here? It's pathetic. Rangers beat themselves up after Game 7 failure. Yes.
It was the game 5 one where he mentioned Quenneville.
All right. Well, I'm not going to go back and find that. But I mean, if Arthur knows, I mean, last year Arthur kind of floated out the rumor that Panarin might get traded.
Yeah, and
But
that jury wasn't happy with him.
oh, really?
Yeah, that was the other part of it. That jury apparently wasn't happy with Panarin and the way that he played in the playoffs.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I thought you said you meant he was mad at Arthur Staple.
No, yeah.
Because it leaked that. But I mean, yeah, with the no movement clause, it limits everything. It limits the what you can do. Because he could just say, no, I'm not going there. Nope, I'm not going there. But I mean, if he wants out, then I don't think he wants out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Panarin wants out
But
either.
like,
I mean,
if you need to change up this roster, who are you going to trade? Like,
that's the problem.
Goudreau was like, one of the role players that you need on the team, but like his salary is too much. You extended Hedel. Kreider shouldn't be going anywhere. You just signed Zibanejad. Like, you're gonna trade Lindgren. You're gonna trade Truba. You just named him captain. It doesn't seem like there's any place where like the Rangers could make an improvement like without trading like Panarin. No,
Yeah, it's so tough. Someone said trade
so
Fox now.
no, they just signed him too.
Yeah.
No, they're not blowing up the core here. They're not blowing up like one of the guys they just signed. Like,
Yeah,
why
no,
would the
I
Rangers
can't
trade
envision that
first line
happening.
center? Why would the Rangers trade Zibanejad? You know what I mean? Like, he's a 40-goal scorer center. Like you took all this time to develop him, and now he's here, and now you want to trade him? You can't do that.
I think it's just recency bias when it comes to that, but at the
This
same
is
time, I
tough.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Drury's. I'm glad that I'm not in Chris Drury's shoes right now. Like, we could speculate all we want, come up with all these hypothetical trades, but at the end of the day, Chris Drury's got to make this decision. In my personal opinion, I think the best thing the Rangers could do is find another coach and keep the
Yeah, it's
roster.
easier to replace one guy than 20.
Keep the entire roster the same. Whatever you can re-sign, whoever you can afford to re-sign, get those players back and change the coach. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement because realistically, you're not going to be able to do anything to this core.
Trade everybody. Team of no names would play with more grit than that. Well, I mean, they're not going to do that because they just spent 5 years committing themselves to a rebuild, and they're not going to do it all over again because they're going to lose all money. If you have a team of no names, then no one's going to pay $500 to go see a game at Madison Square Garden. It's not how it works. You have to put a good product on the ice to get the sales for the ticket. You know? James Dolan wants a cup team, and the Rangers certainly had whatever they had the tools this year. They couldn't come through. Let their rivals beat them, and that's also a message to Drury. Like the Devils are at this point should be a year behind the Rangers, younger team, first time in the playoffs with the core, and now they're in the second round, and you could definitely see them going to at least the third round. As much as it pains me to say that, so something is going to happen. Something will definitely change.
Yeah. Um I don't know who the coach is going to be next year, but I really don't think it's gone. I don't. I think that they're going to just settle for one of these guys on the market. They might wait for round 2 like you mentioned to see maybe there's a chance one of these guys gets fired, but even then I think that your options are limited. I don't think Florida's getting rid of Paul Maurice after 1 year.
I like him. Yeah, there's no way Paul Maurice is getting fired though.
DeBoer is not going to get moved.
No, he's the same thing as Gallant. He could get you to
I'm
the
just
dance.
listening to round 2 playoff teams right now. That's all. I'm not saying like
Yeah, I know.
fire
I got
DeBoer
you. I
because
got you.
I'm not on board with that. But who else are we looking at in the second round? Obviously New Jersey. Now Lindy Ruff would be a disaster if they went that route again. Granted, I guess he just won the series, so but I don't think he's going anywhere either.
Rangers went cheap with getting Trocheck. They should have went for what? JT Miller?
No. With what cap were they getting JT Miller and
I
what
know.
trade package, Bruce? Please enlighten me what
Yeah.
you would have traded for JT Miller. Because I guarantee you whatever you're gonna say in chat, Vancouver would not have accepted. But yeah, like all the round 2 coaches, the only one I could imagine potentially getting fired is Sheldon Keefe if the Leafs lose that series. I don't see anyone else getting fired out of the rest of out of everyone that's left.
I don't necessarily. There's this comment here about Lindy Ruff coaching for the Rangers. I mean, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was when Quinn was here.
Yeah,
That was different.
I mean, somewhat like he knows the players and how they play, but I mean, under Gallant, it was supposed to be a different system.
Although I guess it wasn't so different after all because
I
Carolina
guess
trapped against us and they won
it,
that bubble series. But Lindy Ruff wasn't even behind the bench for that bubble series, so
right. It was somebody else. It
it was
was
Gordon Murphy.
yep. I don't think Brunette would be a bad idea.
I'm not for that. I'm really not. I think that if you're gonna go that route, he's in a way similar to what Quenneville was, and also like after seeing what Brunette did against Tampa Bay, like he got pantsed by John Cooper last year. He got pantsed. I'm not for
I got
Brunette.
you. I got you. My personal favorite. I mean, and this has nothing to do. Like honestly, even if I didn't know him, but Craig Berube, I have to say, like in terms of realism, like
We can hope that St. Louis is doing what we're talking about
because
here. And
from what I've heard is that like Doug Armstrong, if they're out, then he goes all out. Like like the Blues weren't contending, so he shipped everybody out. He shipped all of his UFAs out.
yeah, I think that maybe there's a chance Berube still gets fired because maybe they were doing what we're talking about the Rangers maybe doing with round 2. Maybe they're waiting to see if anyone gets falls off from these round 1 teams and Maybe Gallant they're interested in somehow, which I think would be stupid after the series, but you never know.
I think with the better coach, maybe it's the assistant, the other coaches. I don't know. I don't know. Speed kills. Unfortunately, was against it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The Rangers definitely didn't have enough speed. They needed to take like some uh pain injections. Like I don't even know. What it? I can't even think right now. It's so late.
And it's just a rough day.
Yeah, they were Agent Smith. Yeah, games 1 and 2, whatever style they played was perfect. Was perfect. And then the Rangers, I guess they stopped playing the way that they needed to in game 4. Game 3, I thought they played fine. And again, I thought they could have won that one. Yeah, Rangers are the only source of pain injections. Yeah, exactly. I'm expecting Carolina to get smacked.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna get smacked too. They're too injured right now. They're way too
Yeah.
injured.
Uh, Freak Leach. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, that's why I like the Kane trade is because they didn't give up a first round pick this year. They gave up a one of their 2 first round picks in this year's draft, but they still have the other one, and they could get a really good player with this pick. Really good player.
Vancouver would have taken Schneider a first, and either Kako or Lafreniere. Miller got 82 points on a bad team and 99 points the year before. Trocheck got 64 points. I don't know. There was just so much that went on with JT Miller during his time in New York where you wonder if those things would have went down again. That's my main problem with JT Miller. It always was. It wasn't like the player. It was always just the off the ice stuff for me.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with. I've heard rumors, but I haven't heard any like concrete like articles or stories about that stuff. Yeah, Miller's a headache. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah, this is gonna be one big uh problem here for the Rangers. Like with the offseason, it's gonna be we don't know what's gonna happen. We might see fan favorites go. We might not see anybody go. We could see like a copy paste of this team next year, which like I would be pissed if it's exactly the same because I mean you put on a performance like that, you go up 2-0 and you lose the series.
You don't deserve another chance. You don't.
It would surprise me considering what has happened already within the past like 3 years. You know, like the Rangers were very competitive in 1920, weren't so competitive in a stacked division in 2020, 2021 in that the bubble season. And then they fired everybody, right? Like that was they were quick to pull the trigger there. So something like this would not surprise me if they pull the trigger on somebody, on getting rid of somebody, whether that be like a Panarin or a Kreider or firing a coach or somebody in the front office for whatever reason. Would not be surprised about that.
Yeah. I wouldn't be either. I think that right now it's just too early for me to have this conversation. It is.
Just lost game 7, man.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. I was so pissed before.
I knew when the Devils scored that first goal. I just
I had a feeling too.
yeah.
Even though it was like there was still a lot of time.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was like the shots. Like any chance they did get, like people say, like shoot the puck, but like the Rangers weren't in any position to shoot the puck. Really, they barely had much space out there. It looked like they were just suffocated the entire time even in the offensive zone. Like that's what happens with the trap, I guess. That's my understanding of it. That's what I saw. They didn't have much time to make plays to the middle of the ice. In game 6 they were getting to the middle of the ice. Tonight they were kept to the outside and like not even close to like really right up against the boards.
Yeah. They just can't beat that fucking trap.
Yeah,
They can't.
Fox looks so dumb there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Someone said can't get rid of Panarin Kreider because of the no movement clauses. There's two ways to look at no movement clauses. You could look at it as there's the player's not going to get traded, but I think that no movement clauses could also be used as a player's way of saying I would be traded, but only to these destinations. So if you embarrass a guy like Panarin enough, I'm sure that he would be fine with waiving that no move clause. Especially because Drury was not happy last year. No way he's going to be happy with Panarin's play this year either. So
Yeah, Devils were like really good in the offensive zone too.
yeah,
I think they frustrated the Rangers. Like I if I had to like pick one moment where the entire series changed, I keep going back to it. It's the Shesterkin roughing on Timo Meyer.
yeah, yeah. It killed them.
Put Panarin on the fourth line, he'll wave right away. Yeah, we know Gallant's not going to do that.
No, they're going to have to find a way to move one of these guys, though. They have to make some sort of big change.
It's crazy. Like people are saying, like about Lundqvist. It's like the same deal as Lundqvist getting hung out to dry. Lundqvist didn't have the offense that this team has. Like Shesterkin is like one of the best goaltenders, and he has this level of offense on his team, and they can't even score one goal. You know what I mean? Like
It's
the Rangers,
embarrassing.
like you can't compare the firepower the Rangers had on offense to like now to or in 2014-15 to like this year. You can't compare it.
Freak, that's a fair point that who would want Panarin after this. But at the same time, we saw Jonathan Huberdeau get moved.
NHL GMs, some of them are not that smart.
They're not. They're really not smart.
They're not thinking like we are right now. Like you could trade him to a team that's not in the position the Rangers are in. You know what I mean? Like a team that's looking to get to the playoffs. And he will
Yeah.
take them there. He will take them there. He will take them to the next step. Panarin, I mean. I think Tom May is like dead on here.
Devils D was active with sticks and through the neutral zone. It caused pucks to get dumped in instead of carried in, which
For the
is
high
suicide
skill
for the high
forward.
skill forwards. Y'all
But
had.
the
Yeah.
Rangers do have those guys that could, play physical. But I think everybody should be playing. I think Messier said it. Somebody said it. It was like Subban or Messier that like all your guys have to play physical. Like even your like your skill guys. Like I'm not saying start a fight, but throw a little check here and there to nudge the puck off.
Dude, 100%. And no, Tommy Huberdeau should not be a target. The whole reason that Florida trade him is the exact reason we want to trade Panarin.
Yeah,
He wasn't showing up enough in the playoffs.
yeah, no.
That's the exact reason. So And that's why even like when we talked about potentially trading Panarin to Florida earlier, it's kind of like, are they really going to do that after they just trade Huberdeau for this exact reason? We had one scoring chance from the slot before the third period.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yep.
And all the games we
Yeah.
lost. Yeah. That's how couldn't get to the middle of the ice. Couldn't.
Heavy emphasis on games 4 and 5 with
Yes.
the slot stuff. Heavy emphasis on that.
Well, and tonight.
Oh yeah, and yeah. Absolutely.
We were up 2-0 against an arch rival
I
to
know,
go.
and I
Yep.
know that's what stings. It caught me so off guard that it was just the series just flipped around in an instant. Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh man. I guess Nick's not coming back.
Nah, he said his internet got knocked out. It's just that type of night. I think though that I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm
All
too
right.
deflated.
Yeah, man. I am
I
too. I got you.
We'll do another podcast maybe in a week or so when we're feeling slightly
Yeah.
better, hopefully.
I got to figure out my guess for this week for me. I don't know. I'll see what happens.
For sure. And
All right.
if not, then yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me, Python.
No problem.
YouTube guys, thanks for commenting. You guys kept us entertained the entire time for sure. We had to it's just like therapy.
Yeah.
I understand. Understand. We go through all 82 games plus playoffs, spend however much money on the team, and you get
We
this
get
kind of
this.
performance. You're so invested, and this is what you get. It's part of being a fan, I guess. Sucks, man. But yeah, thanks for having me, Python.
No problem. Thanks for
Later.
joining.
Yep.
Good night. All right, guys. Thank you for the 100+ viewers where we peaked at. Leave a like on your way out if you have not already as well. We're at 40 something likes. Would be appreciated to help the algorithm here, because I'm sure this video either way is going to get a stupid amount of views because Devil fans are going to have a field day with this. But it is what it is. Nothing we could do about it. But all I gotta say before we wrap this up, I really do appreciate all of you guys in the chat for making this season, you know, through the ups and downs, a good time. Tuning in to all 82 games with me, tuning into every post game show with me, whether I do these live streams right after the game or late at night. Really do appreciate every single one of you guys, and sucks that it ended this way. It sucks. And as for content coming out on the channel, I don't know when the next time I'm going to upload or go live is. Like I said, we're going to try to get a podcast soon, but between the next podcast episode and the one after that, I really don't know how much content I'm going to have until we get into the meat of the off season. But I'm crushed. I'm freaking crushed. Yeah. Thank you guys again for making the season a good one, just like last year. We'll be back at it again next year. And hopefully, by some chance, we'll get to be talking about at least something better than a first round exit. At the very least, that. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you are Ranger fans. Yeah. Well, see you guys in the next one. Don't know when it will be, but I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Let's go, Rangers.